So in any case, as I said a moment ago, you can drag and drop from this palette on the left. And what will happen is behind the scenes, not only do we create the UI element for you, but we're actually creating the data model, the XML data model that is the central focus of what data gets collected by this form. We can generate that for you automatically. But as well, if you're thinking about that whole product line slide that Keith showed you at the beginning, with the diagonal of products, where in the lower left there's all of the fill experience, but on the upper right there's all the business process, database, sorts of products. If you're thinking about straight through processing of XML, like how am I going to do my whole information system, you're probably going to think about what is the data that I need to process. So we've got an enhanced capability in this release to wrap a form around a pre-existing data description asset known as an XML schema. So if you've designed the data of your system ahead of time, we can allow you to design your form around that, and then the form will collect the data in a way that is conformant to that schema definition. So there'll be no translation code, no servlet or portlet code in the middle that has to translate between the data the form collected and the data that your backend systems are expecting to receive. So all you do is associate the schema with the form, and then ask for the data model to be generated by the form, at which point this right-hand side data model sort of becomes like a super version of the palette on the left, in that you can drag and drop from the data model, and it will automatically create the objects in the form. So this sample that I'm doing is a medical pre-approval. So it has things like the patient data that needs to be collected, their last name, first name, social security number, medical insurance policy number, those sorts of things. It has their contact information like email, phone number, cell, address, and even like subtrees like for their whole address information, street. I'll just move this over a little bit more. Street, city, zip code, those sorts of things. And of course the details, their reason for being there, is this a medical referral, is a whole subtree, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of data model that got created for you, but from a form design standpoint, you drag and drop this as if it were a palette object, and it will create the entire user interface for you, allow you then to drag and drop it as I've just done. You can manipulate any of the properties, like you could go into the properties view of this pane and tell the thing to have a border, or change the background color, to something a little more reasonable, something that allows you to see what's going on with this. And I'll go into the border info, and I'll tell it what color to be. All of these sorts of things are now addressable once you've dragged and dropped, but it's created the entire user interface for you, and it's automatically bound that to this schema valid subtree, so that any data that gets collected by these UI elements is automatically collecting the data in the format you need. But as well, it's actually read the schema information, the data types, so not just the structure, that there's a subtree here, but things like this is a date, and this is an enumeration in the schema, so it should be a drop down instead of just a textual entry field. All right. So I'll do the same thing here and show you that the same ideas work even when you have a subtree within there. So it has created the static elements like email and phone number and things like that, but it's created a whole subgroup for the address information, including the drop down for the states, all that sort of thing, automatically for you. So you really get a powerful drag and drop experience.